Good evening, my non-existent viewers. Before you call me gross, I'm filming this video the same night as I film my top 9 favorite albums of all time video, which that was part 5 out of 7 of all the list videos I've been making this October. So here is the second to last list video that I'm making, for my YouTube channel's 12th anniversary back on October 7th. Here it is. When I did that poll. When I did my poll on my Instagram asking for you guys what what music themed list videos I should make, this year, you guys mostly voted for my 9 favorite albums of all time, while 17% voted for the top 9 songs that get me pumped, like the songs that get me hyped, the ones that get me so motivated to, do things and get stuff done, whether it's homework or the gym or whether it's just party time or whatever else. Asking you shall receive. Here it is, my top 9 songs that just get me super hyped. And I've been very confident what my top 5 has been for a while now, but my 9 through 6 top my songs that get me motivated the most, I had a difficult time ranking these, and it was there's so many other songs. This easily could have been a top 20 list if I wanted to. So instead, I have a special playlist that I made on Spotify. I call it the Bring Me Thanos playlist, and it's one of those playlists that I only save for really particular occasions. For whether it's usually for the last day of a job or an internship. I bought the Bring Me Thanos playlist on my last days interning at the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo, the Utica Zoo, and the Riverside Discovery Center in Nebraska, respectively, as well as my last day at Dogtopia, my last day of the Congo team this past, at the zoo this past July. So, if you guys want to check out that list for my fellow Spotify users, I'll leave it in the description down below. It's full of bands AC/DC and Guns N' Roses and Gojira and Slipknot and Parkway Drive and A Day to Remember and songs from bands it's mostly alternative and rock and metal, but there's a few other other random songs on there too that just the songs that really just get me hyped up to just get things done. So yeah, just feel free to check out the description down below, and yeah, let's begin. A strength to become a storm that never loses speed. When it's said and done, you'll become the wolf you feed. Unfortunately, just like in my last list video, I will not actually be playing the music for you guys because, I don't want to get blocked on YouTube. Not my thing, personally. But yeah, by kicking off my list, my number 9 spot goes to The Wolf You Feed by Nita Strauss and Alyssa White Glues. I hope I'm pronouncing her last name right. For those of you who don't know, Nita Strauss is the touring guitarist for Alice Cooper. And Alyssa White Glues is the new, or she's not so new anymore, but she's replaced Arch Enemy's original lead singer. Arch Enemy's a melodic death metal band from Sweden, right? And Nita Strauss released a solo album called Call to the Void back in 2023, and The Wolf You Feed was released. I honestly could not have asked for a better time for the song to be dropped in my life. It was released late October of 2022, shortly after I started my internship at the Riverside Discovery Center in Nebraska, which I think out of my 3 post-college zoo internships, that one just impacted me the most on a personal level because I had a lot of reality checks, those 12 weeks I was living in Nebraska, and I realized oh man, I really gotta prioritize my mental health, right? Because I gotta say, going through 3 unpaid internships and moving 5 times within the span of a year was one of, if not the hardest thing I ever did. And that song was released, and I came across it during my internship at that place because we would play music. The other zookeepers and the other interns and that place would play songs. Various whether it's metal or hard rock or emo or punk or alternative all the time while cleaning exhibits and making diets enrichment for the animals and stuff like that. And I came across this song and it was just oh my gosh, this is what I need right now. And after my internship there ended, when I really started door dashing on a more regular basis, I played this song every day while I was door dashing because I was low key determined, when 2023 came around, because that song was released was released late in 2022, so I couldn't really listen to it enough times to put it on my top 5 list for Spotify Wrapped when 2022 ended. But 2023 though, I was like, okay, I'm gonna make this song my most played song of 2023, and I did. Yeah, this Alyssa is just so good at going back and forth between the growling and the screaming and the guttural heavy vocals, while Nita and doing that, and also clean vocals as well. And Nita Strauss is just such a phenomenal guitarist. That guitar solo is just excellence. It's impossible to be unhappy while playing the Wolfie feed, and it's just it's also the Wolfie feed. It's the themes and the lyrics about the classic Native American proverb, inside of you there's 2 wolves, one represents all things good, or represents all things bad. Who wins? You guess. Up on a mountain, I see down below. It's easy to lose your self-control. Can't hear what you're shouting, I'm deaf to your show. It's easy to lose your self-control. Everybody gets high, everybody gets low. Speaking of my internship in Nebraska, I remember listening to Beartooth during I remember reacting to The Past is Dead and Devastation and my 1,500 subscriber special live stream that I did right after the end of my spring semester of my senior year at CSU, when I only had 1 semester left. But I didn't really get hooked on Beartooth until one morning at the Riverside Discovery Center during my internship at that place, because like I said, the zookeepers and the other interns at that place would play bands like Beartooth and A Day to Remember and Atreyu and other metal alternative and rock bands all the time. And one morning we were riding one of the golf carts to one of the exhibits, and the keeper I was with, she was playing In Between by Beartooth, and I was like, whoa, Sydney, what song is this? And she was like, oh, it's In Between by Beartooth. I was instantly fell in love with Beartooth. I was like, I put that song on my playlist, and after that internship ended, Beartooth was also a band I played a lot while door dashing around my uncle's neighborhood in Denver, and In Between has such a primal energy to it. Beartooth is one of those bands that doesn't write songs; they write lessons. I'm not joking. They're so inspirational. Their lyrics and Caleb Shomo's powerful vocals and their irresistible energy and their themes just have really inspired me. Not just with not just playing music at the zoo at my job or while door dashing, but also just life in general. When I'll be drawing pictures or writing my stories, because trying to put my English major to use, and or just when I want to just have a good time. It's In Between is just such a hype. It's who needs morning coffee when you could wake up to this? And I had the immense privilege to see Beartooth in concert back in January, right? I made a video that I talked about that in my February Schizo Rambling. Yeah, I didn't even know Beartooth was from Columbus until I moved here. So, Sydney, shout out to you, by the way. Thank you for getting me hooked on Beartooth. I'm convinced that her, getting me hooked on Beartooth during my internship at the RDC was foreshadowing to me moving here to Columbus. And when I saw Beartooth in concert, they opened with The Surface and The Past is Dead, and the whole show I was like, where's In Between? When are they gonna play In Between? I can't wait for them to play In Between. And then the final song, Caleb Shum was like, here's a song I know you know the words to. It's called In Between. And I lost it. Part of me was, I felt so much negative energy just lifted off my shoulders that night. To prove me wrong, to watch this memory clean, let the flows cross the distance in your eyes. Now, there are a lot of Linkin Park songs that could have easily been placed on this list, but I ultimately went with New Divide, which is not just my favorite song from Linkin Park, it's also one of my favorite songs of all time. I had my iPod Touch back in I started using at the start of middle school, right? And New Divide was one of the first few songs that I ever purchased, and I played New Divide into absolute oblivion at during like the end of elementary school and throughout middle school and high school and stuff like that. Linkin Park was just instantly one of my favorite bands. They wrote this song, New Divide, for the Transformers Revenge of the Fallen soundtrack, and they wrote What I've Done for the first Transformers film. And Transformers is like, was to boys who grew up in the 2000s, like what Twilight was for girls. Like, yes, both Transformers and Twilight and all their respective sequels are dumber than a pile of bricks. The Revenge of the Fallen, in particular, like, Michael Bay himself has admitted that movie is crap. But they're prime examples of bad movies with great soundtracks. Like, I don't even know where to begin when I talk about New Divide. Not only does it get me super motivated and hyped, there's the drums, there's like bum, 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 and the guitars, da, 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 and the lyrics, like Chester Bennington, may he rest in peace. Thank you so much for all the good times and all the unforgettable lyrics that you, and you know, your powerful vocals, like both singing and the screaming, and of course Mike Shinoda, like not New Divide necessarily, but just like the rapping and other Linkin Park songs. Like, yeah, New Divide was just like one of those songs that just got me through, and you know, Linkin Park in general just got me through so much in middle school and high school. And say whatever you want about their new lead singer, like, you know, Emily Armstrong, but like when Eliza and I saw them in concert at Sonic Temple back in May, like, it was a fantastic show. Like, fabulous. Like, they played almost all of their iconic classics, and they opened because, you know, New Divide is such a distinct, like, drum, the drumming in that song is just so unique, right? And they started with a little intro of them, you know, the drummer was, like, playing the drums, and I was like, oh my gosh, is this what I think it is? And then they started playing New Divide, and I almost burst into tears. There's even a dude dressed as Optimus Prime in the mosh pit. This is the dawning of the rest of our lives on holiday. Okay, my all-time favorite band had to be somewhere on this list. Like, Holiday is like, there's a lot of Green Day songs that could have made it onto like the list of songs that get me hyped. Like, it could have easily gone to American Idiot or Jesus of Suburbia or like a Basket Case. It could have gone to there's a lot, or Know Your Enemy. Know Your Enemy especially is a great song to like get the party started. But like, and it also could have gone to 21 Guns, which is personally my favorite song of all time. But 21 Guns, I feel like, is that kind of song that works for every occasion, while Holiday is a song that especially works for, like, you know, times where you just need something to give you, like, a kickstart and just get you boosted and just going and, like, motivated and getting stuff done. And I talked about some of my favorite albums of all time, but I'll say it again here. It's just, I absolutely adore, like, the political themes in the American Idiot album. Holiday especially is, like, a big middle finger to the Bush administration for invading Iraq, you know, after 9/11. And it was just like, I love the music video, and I love the iconic guitars and the lyrics and just everything about, like, Holiday. It's just that good. These weak arms are heavy, there's vomit on a sweater already. Mom spaghetti, he's nervous, but on the surface he looks mom spaghetti. Mom spaghetti, the mom spaghetti, the spaghetti, the mom spaghetti. Alright, Lose Yourself by Eminem. Like, I think Eminem is my favorite artist that is not, like, under the whole alternative or rock or metal umbrella. Like, I'm not, like, too crazy for rap. I don't listen to too much rap, but Eminem is just such a goated rapper. Like, you know, seriously. I think, like, he defined the late 90s and, like, the 2000s, like, mainstream music scene. Like, he truly did. And, like, Not Afraid is my personal favorite song from Eminem. Like, that was my very first song I purchased on that iPod I was talking about, you know, way back at the start of middle school. But Lose Yourself is just such a motivational powerhouse of a song, and is written by underdogs for underdogs. It was the first hip hop song to win the Oscar for Best Original Song for 8 Mile back in 2002. And Eminem was, like, one of my homework artists. Like, I listened to Eminem all the time during college while like doing homework and studying, and Lose Yourself was the reason why I made Eminem part of my my homework soundtrack, because I'd listen to the song the night before exams to get ready for to study and stuff like that. And I and Eminem has plenty of other songs that just go well with like reading and making flashcards and doing homework and things. Like he has other like more upbeat motivational songs, and he has other songs that are very slow and melodic, and and other songs just make me laugh. Like just Eminem, like what else is there to say? Dovakin, Malakin lost Varin, Wadai, Volku, Mami Farakas Fall, Hayadorak Balkan, Zolizos in the Sun, Dovakin, Vahe, Kurma Modro. Alright, the Skyrim theme song. Jeremy Soule, the composer for the Skyrim soundtrack, is such a genius. Like, they got a whole chorus of grown-ass men to sing a made-up dragon language for a video game. Just, who could get, I have not been able to get enough of the Skyrim theme song, with the opening, with the loading screen. Like, there have been times where I would be playing Skyrim, I wouldn't even hit the start button yet, because I just want to keep listening to the theme song when I was a teenager. It's just that good. And, and I have Skyrim and The Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter and Avatar: Last Airbender and Pokemon and other, like, fantasy classics to thank for inspiring me to pursue an English degree and with a creative writing concentration and as a zoology minor, too, to pursue a career both in the zoo field and a writing career. This, video game soundtracks like Skyrim soundtrack and Eminem were, like, two of like things that were like all on my study time playlist during CSU. I'll listen to the Skyrim theme, Skyrim soundtrack all the time while doing homework and studying at CSU, as well as Eminem. And I just the Dragonborn theme, Dovahkiin, it's just like I just remember all the times that song gave me goosebumps when I needed that energy the most as a kid, and I'll keep playing it. The Skyrim turns 14 years old this year. That's insane. Yeah, man! With all the strength of a raging fire, mysterious as the dark side of the moon! Okay, this has been my motivational powerhouse, like one of my anthems, like, I'm not joking, ever since preschool. Because I remember there would be times where I would be watching Mulan in my living room as a preschooler, and I would be like dancing around doing like karate moves and stuff like that. And this is like, I have a ninja sword, even though ninjas are from Japan, not ancient China. Like I would just be like trying to do like the sword movements, and my dad would just be like, "Yay, go Vita!" So like when he would see me like running around in my living room and just dancing to Mulan as a kid. I watched that movie like God knows how many times growing up. And again, I'll Make a Man Out of You. This is going to be a theme for the rest of this video. It's like songs that got me through college. Like, yeah, I would play I'll Make a Man Out of You, to get ready for exams at CSU. And I would just like play that and like all the other Disney songs from the various Disney films, as well as video game soundtracks and Eminem and two other bands we'll get to soon while doing homework and studying. And I honestly don't know what kind of person I would be without like, Mulan and The Lion King and other Disney films that I grew up with. Stand to the sun! Hail to the king! Hail! 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 My favorite song from my favorite metal band, Avenged Sevenfold, Hail to the King. I talked about this in my my favorite albums video, and I'll say it again here. I didn't really listen to metal that much until I was in college, until my sophomore year at CSU. And I wish I'd gotten into metal sooner, because as a kid I was afraid, I was terrified of metal, because I thought it was all just evil and like blasphemous and satanic and stuff like that. But Avenged Sevenfold and Slipknot and, Ozzy and Black Sabbath and Gojira were like those first, when I listened to those bands in college, like changed my mind about metal. And a certain other band we'll get to in a sec. Hail to the King, I remember coming across that song during my Shakespeare class. It's 2019, like my sophomore year at CSU. Like, I don't really look back too fondly on that year. It was before I dropped out of CSU temporarily, fall of 2019. Like, it was just make a long story short, I think the phrase sophomore slumps applies to college students as much as it applies to high schoolers, and that's why I left CSU. That's why I had to leave CSU that September. But before I left, I started listening to Hail to the King during that Shakespeare class I took that summer, and I was just like, this is what I need right now. Avenged Sevenfold became like my favorite band to listen to all the time while doing homework and studying. And yeah, it's just like, who can possibly forget like the iconic guitars and the drums, and the Hail to the King album was the first full album that Avenged Sevenfold released without their founding drummer James the Rev Sullivan. May he rest in peace. And yeah, and I had I'm so glad that I got to see Avenged Sevenfold in concert with Falling in Reverse and Living Color during my internship at the Utica Zoo. Oh my gosh, it was so good. Like, the college student stuck inside of me was finally at peace when I saw Hail to the King and Afterlife and all their other classics. But alas, there is one more song that we got to discuss on this list. My most motivational song of all time goes to So Far Away, we wait for the day, for the light source so wasted and gone. We feel the pain of a lifetime lost in 1,000 days. Through the fire and the flames we carry on. Through the Fire and Flames by Dragon Force. I have a very particular relationship with this song because I never played Guitar Hero 3 when I was a kid. My sister always insists that Rock Band 2 was better, so we played that instead. I heard of Dragon Force when I was a kid, right? But I didn't get around to listening to Through the Fire and Flames until that summer when I took that Shakespeare class. I listened to that song at the dining hall at CS with my headphones in. It's like, I have never felt more badass while eating just a plate of vegetables. And I listened to that song again a week later when to get ready for the final exam for that class. I walked to the exam room and I was like, bring me the exam. I am ready. Like this, where do I even start with Through the Fire and Flames? Like, it's just, Herman Lee and Sam Totman are two such iconic guitarists. They're the only two like original members of the Dragon Force lineup left. But like, my friend Eric and I saw Dragon Force in concert a few months after I saw Avenged Sevenfold in New York City with Edge of Paradise and Amaranth and Nano War of Steel. Oh my gosh, it was such a great show. Like, Dragon Force was like, Through the Fire and Flames is just like, it's so powerful, it's so motivational, it's so like goosebump inducing that I can't I would play Hail to the King every day while doing homework and studying at CSU. Through the Fire and Flames, on the other hand, was that one song I knew I had to leave on a shelf and come back to it only on more particular occasions, i.e. finals week, for spring semesters and fall semesters, my birthday, and New Year's Eve. I was like, I only need to listen. I'm only letting myself listen to this song when I need its power the most. It's called power metal for a reason, right? So now that I've been graduated from CSU, I saved the Bring Me Thanos playlist that I made, that I was talking about at the start of this video, for very particular occasions for that reason. Like, not every Through the Fire and Flames occasion is a Bring Me Thanos playlist occasion, but every Bring Me Thanos playlist occasion is a Through the Fire and Flames occasion. So like I said, I saved that playlist for the last days of like jobs and internships. If I know I'm leaving soon or moving soon, and and also I play Through the Fire and Flames my birthday and New Year's Eve. Do you guys have like a similar relationship to like a particular song? Like, what is your most motivational song of all time? Let me know in the comments. So there you guys have it. My top 9 most motivational songs of all time. Thank you so much for sticking with me for this series, and expect one more list to go up on Halloween this year. I'm very excited to make that. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great week. Stay beastly.